As we get into the workshop tonight, I want to make sure that I can answer any questions people may have about the topic, but also about how we can help maybe others to understand what it is we do. Chiropractic care may be something that's foreign to some, or they may understand a lot about it. They might have experienced chiropractic or maybe never have. But chiropractic or not, our goal is to make sure that you understand how to be healthy. Chiropractic is at the foundation of helping your body be healthy. Your body was built to communicate between the brain and the body. If that is functioning properly, then your body can self-heal and self-regulate. When we disconnect it or subluxate your body, it becomes ill. I'm going to show you a simple example here. If someone ever asks you, well, how do I explain chiropractic? We use this safety pin. Yes, this safety pin came from the largest baby known to man. This is a big safety pin. But the safety pin is the easiest way to describe what chiropractic does and how it works. If you imagine this as being the head and this being the body, there is a loop that happens where the brain communicates with the body and the body back to the brain. There is a eccentric and efferent loop. This communication, when connected, allows your body to heal and function. When subluxated or disconnected in a way where the brain and the body are disconnected, that causes subluxation. So subluxation is simply brain and body disconnect, just like the safety pin. So when we make an adjustment to someone, we help to reset or realign the body and connect the brain and body back together. So someone says, why do you get adjusted? Because of the safety pin. They say, what safety? What are you talking about? Because if my safety pin is unlocked, I'm not working as good as I should. I'm not at my optimum potential. That's why I go to get adjusted, so that I can connect the circuit. We want your circuit connected. A connected circuit is a healthy body. So that's why you get adjusted. Well, why is all this talk about that when we talk about technique or posture? I'll tell you, it has a lot to do with things. Your posture can affect everything from breathing to thinking, from hormone production to digestion is affected by your posture. So if your posture is abnormal, it causes stress and strain on muscles, on tendons, on ligaments. Long term, it can affect your bones. You could get arthritis, and even the discs can start to wear out. But the most sensitive structure of your body, that's your nerves. Your nerves are the most sensitive structure. You know, it only takes about the weight of a dime on your nerve to shut off up to 60% of the life force or nerve flow from your brain to other parts of your body. So if your posture is making you sick posture is a sick body, we better start to learn about how to assess what sick posture is and how to change it. Well, let's get into technique just a little bit, the understandings of it. Then we're going to talk about prevention, and then how do we heal if we have created technique. So those are our main goals. What is it? How do we prevent it? And then how do we ultimately heal if we've caused it? Technique is very simply, you might see this behind me, but you have a posture in which your body should be upright. Your head should be over your shoulder over your hips over your ankles. You can't see my ankles, but they're right underneath my hips, I promise. Good posture allows your body to absorb the shock of gravity like a spring. Poor posture, some here, we call this flexor dominant posture, starts to decay and deteriorate the function of your nervous system, ultimately causing that safety pin to become unlatched, to not connect the circuit, and causes your body to deteriorate in its function in many different ways. So a sick posture is a sick body. When we use technology, if I'm even reading a book, but if I'm using a cell phone often, I might be looking down. I might use a computer and looking down. I may be using other little forms of devices, even mobile electronics to read now. Either way, I'm probably looking down. The more forward my head is, the more I look down, the more stress there is on the body. Tech neck is simply a fact where your neck from the straight position starts to become tilted and forward. Did you know that at 15 degrees of tilt forward, looking down for 15 degrees, it takes the average head weight, which is 10 to 12 pounds, and doubles it and makes it 27 pounds effectively on your shoulders and your neck. So if someone says, hey doc, that adjustment, was helpful for about a moment. Then I went back to work and I started using my phone and going to work, and then it came back. And I took an x-ray and I found that their head was 2 inches forward or 30 degrees. That means that they're carrying around a 40-pound head. So my adjustments are only going to last for a small amount of time when someone puts that stress right back onto the neck. In poor posture, your subluxations are created regularly. I can correct them regularly, but if we want to try to prevent them, we've got to figure out how to prevent these problems. Well, if your head was 10 to 12 pounds and you had a slight forward tilt, it is doubled. It almost doubles again at 30 degrees. At 45, it's up to 50 pounds. And at 60 degrees, it's like 60 pounds of pressure and stress on the neck and shoulders. You may feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and that's probably because your head is that forward. Some people might tell you, oh, that's where you hold your stress, and you might hold your stress in your neck, but your neck is already being stressed constantly by that abnormal position, just like we see here. So we need to figure out tools and ways and habits to change from looking down all the time. So let's talk about prevention first. If looking at a device for any length of time can start to challenge our bodies, the longer we look at that, the more challenged and subluxated we become. So we want to recommend number one is posture breaks. Posture breaks are something that should be built into your routine, meaning that you have an alarm that goes off, you set a timer on your phone, you have reminders on your computer or around your house that just say get up. Because every hour, if you are sitting there for hours upon hours and your head tilt becomes more at 30 degrees, you're putting a lot of stress here. So every hour you should have a reminder to do a posture break. What's a posture break? Well, it's the complete opposite of this. We're here. We open our chest, we extend our head back, and we breathe like we did last week. We talked about breath. There's so many forms of breath work that we went over. I encourage you to try to watch that when it becomes available in a week or two online. There's also a handout that we gave with a QR code. So if you're looking for that, you can download it on your phone. And remember, let's prevent this. So take posture breaks. Number one. Number two, if you're going to have a phone in front of you and you're holding that phone, you should never look down at your phone. If you really want to stop tech neck, all you need to do is raise your phone here. If you're going to use a phone, you should always be holding it right at eye level. Your computers, if you use computers, should be at eye level. At eye level, my head doesn't have a tilt. My head, I can be looking straight ahead. How long do you think I'm going to want to use my phone like this? A couple minutes at the most before my arms get tired, right? This is a self-preventative measure. If you just make sure you hold your phone out in front of you. We need to make things uncomfortable that are not healthy for us. One time I went to a smoking cessation seminar, and this guy taught acupuncture techniques in the ear to try to quit people from smoking. But he also made a bunch of habit changes that they had to do. You have to become uncomfortable to want to smoke. So one of his rules were that every time someone was going to puff on their cigarette, they had to hold it with two hands and be outright. So he wanted to make it just uncomfortable and weird. He also used to tell them that they could never have anything over their head. They had to be out in the open. Have you ever seen people smoke usually huddled together, underneath a canopy? He would never let that happen. And he made people save every butt of that cigarette in a bag. So was it his acupuncture? Was it the habits? Maybe it was both. But if you're doing something that's destroying your health, you've got to make it so that it is uncomfortable or very deteriorative to do. You want to make it uncomfortable and not fun to do. Hold your phone right here when you're using it. You won't use it very long. I promise you. Your shoulders will be tired. You'll have big old shoulders by the time you're done. So change where you hold your phone. Posture breaks every hour. The more that you stand, the better off you will be with technology, because when you sit down, you lose the curve of your low back even. So if you sit and slouch and look down, if you have a laptop on your lap, you have a laptop, or you have a tablet and you're just sitting there on the couch, your body is in the worst and most unhealthy position it can possibly be. Your body is in a deteriorative and degenerative position in which your head, your neck curve, your back curve, and your head are in such an abnormal position that your body's decaying as you sit there. And you do that long enough, your ligaments shrink, your body shortens. We have certain terms called creep and hysteresis and set, which are medical terms. Physiologically, your body changes shape. So extend, open up, use your joints, move them all the way around. The more you don't move, and the more we're in this position, the more deteriorative you get. And the more on x-ray, we see what we call tech neck, which just means that your head is forward of your shoulders. That means that the neck curve is probably flat or straight because it's being held down. That's tech neck. Tech neck itself was termed just because technology seemed to be causing a lot of abnormal curves in the body. And more kids that I see now have an abnormal curve in their body. Their head is forward. We call this forward head carriage. And translation, tech neck is epidemic, and it is causing many people to have chronic musculoskeletal problems. And there's no injection, no potion, no lotion, no pill that's going to fix tech neck other than fixing the cause, which means changing how we use technology and taking more breaks. That's prevention. So let's talk about this for a moment. Let's just say you have tech neck or you have what we would consider an abnormal curve of your spine, and you already know that that's a problem. Maybe you're trying to prevent it from getting worse, but you need to correct it. it. You need to improve it. That's why we have our home rehab kit. We have a number of devices to help reshape the curvature in your neck, to strengthen the muscles of your neck and of your lower back. We want you to be able to hold proper curvatures in your spine and be strong in doing that. I have developed a home rehab kit to use at home to start to unwind the stresses you put on your body. The first thing usually in that kit that starts off with is one of these posture discs. The posture disc is simply a way to sit on something to help maintain good curvature, but also to move your spine. You start to pump the discs of your spine and stretch the muscles in your neck and your back as you move on this disc. That's number one thing. Number two is we do a little bit of self-massage with a foam roller. That kit can start to help break up those old, chronic, restricted, and degenerative tissue. We want to break it up. It's gritty inside. We need to get rid of that restrictions and get blood flow to the muscles. This is a nice self-massage tool. You just lay on your back and you massage. The last and probably most important part of that kit that you will see are these fulcrums. These fulcrums are triangular. And if you can see on the picture, person is just laying on the fulcrum to help the back curve. So you lay your back right over this to help the curve of your back. And for your neck, if you've got tech neck, you would lay right over top of this fulcrum with your head facing, kind of laying back this way to help the curve in your neck. It would help create a curve, just like in the picture here. What's beautiful about this fulcrum is that it has a certain density that you can start to push your neck back into it. You can start to strengthen the muscles of your neck. You can start to strengthen them in rotation and lateral bending. And then when you're done for 10 minutes, you just lay on the block. Start reshaping those ligaments that for the whole day you've been this way with. So changing your position is vital and necessary. So we're trying to heal tech neck. You do the prevention, but you also have to do something to undo the stresses you've put on it. These home rehab kit is something that we utilize here, and many of our patients are doing on a regular basis and feel very good about. We have a whole program in which you can kind of take a whole sheet home and learn what to do with all of that. There's also ways to just try to make sure that you're using your neck exercises to help with this. Putting your head back up. If the wall was right here, I'd push my head straight back into the wall. Some people will use a little exercise band and they'll extend over it and kind of pull forward. That's a great little exercise as well. But these are all preventive ways to start to help retrain your neck from that forward abnormal position. Like I said, if you're going to change your habits, you're going to change your life. But the only way we're going to change our habits is reminders. So we need things laying around. We need things in our way. We need some things we might spend money on or time on that remind us to do these things. Otherwise, our life will be too busy and there won't be anything that will grab our attention. So when you're doing things, make sure you have things that remind you to do stuff. Maybe on the back of your phone, you put a sticky note that says hold up or posture breaks. Start putting those around. We call those pattern interrupts. Try to make sure that there's ways that you have routine for things. Your body will change if you repetitiously make the changes with the habits you're doing. Something once a week may not do it. That's why you come in often, and this is why the rehab exercises are done every day. So if you're using your phone, think about this as the last point. If you're looking down at your phone or a computer, or you're sitting in a certain position for 4 hours a day, that means that those tissues have been changed for 4 hours a day. If you even just did 10 minutes of something, that barely sets the balance correct. Barely. So the more that you do things, the more your body gets used to those things. So let's start doing the things that help our body. More movements, more posture breaks, more holding in better positions, using those rehab kits. Luckily, when you focus on an exercise, when you really intentionally do these work, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take 4 hours. It takes maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20. But your body changes quickly because you're giving it good nutrition, you're giving it good movement. So make sure that you're changing up your routine so that you have the best benefit you can. I will let you guys go for tonight. There is a handout with TechNeck. It will be out front when you guys see that. Otherwise, thanks for being here. You guys have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.